that we've had to grow from. So, that's where we're at. Alright, okay. Make the hamburger meat right quick. Put this over here now that I'm done, I guess. Yeah, done. Not too shabby for 8 o'clock. Yeah, I got a video on my main page, and it explains. It's about the redeeming love, but it explains about us. All right, let's see if this meat's good. This little pack. I'm gonna go ahead and cook it if it is. Never mind. No, thank you. I'm not cooking that. Don't look bad then. No, thank you. Oh, meat. Ugh. Ugh. It doesn't. You know, I see all them posts on TikTok about, I wonder how many times they had to forgive each other to make it here. And that's what I want to tell young people now, is that you're not going to have a perfect relationship. You both are two imperfect people trying to become one. And there's going to be a lot of headbutting. There's going to be a lot of characteristic problems. There's going to be a lot of issues. There's a lot of things that you didn't cause that you're going to have to work through. Mine is childhood trauma. His is childhood trauma too. Mine is not having a daddy. I always think that every man will love me and treat me right. Not. I'll go over it again. Kevin has to bring something to dinner or else he can't participate. Like I said, his company, he's made more money for his company than anybody else because he's the only person that runs his line. So he made $15 million profit last year. Just his line made $15 million profit, and he beat that by October. So I think the company should supply the Thanksgiving, but it's corporate, not his boss, okay? So I had a friend, he put down green beans. He was going to make green beans. He put down green beans, but he meant baked beans, loaded baked beans. So I was going to meet somebody for an order yesterday, and I told him just come on home and we'll go to the nearest town and meet them, and then you can buy your baked bean stuff there. Well, that didn't happen. We didn't meet because something got changed around. So he ran to DG last night around 9:45. He came home about 10:15. He put the baked beans in the oven around 10:30. I mean 11:30, not 10:30, sorry. 10:30, 11:30. About 2:30, he came in here to check on them. We were on the couch. He sleeps on the couch, I sleep in the bed because I can't get comfortable. Yeah, they do. They do. They're supplying the turkey and the ham. So he comes in here, and I thought he turned them off because I thought he had them on low simmer. I thought he was cooking them slow, you know. Well, I slept on the couch with him, sitting straight up and down, which I don't sleep very good when I sit straight up and down. And, I told him to let me cook it today, and he's like, no, I'll cook it so you don't have to. Well, he forgot and left them on, and they burnt. So at 4:45, he opened the oven and they were burnt. So I'm making loaded baked beans, what I call loaded green beans, and then like I had said, one of his co-workers forgot and their bills were too close. So Kevin volunteered to bring him some rolls. Oh yeah, his beans are fancy. That's why it took him an hour to make them. He says mine will be better, but we'll see. Everybody at Thanksgiving and every holiday asks for him to bring. Oh, he wasted $30 in baked beans. The dogs and the chickens got them. We've spent $80 on baked beans. He said, just go get some cans, Ashley, and throw them in a pan. They won't know the difference. They gonna think it's your cooking, and they know your cooking don't taste like that. Heck, each time we cook stuff, he shares with the guys at his table. They know you don't cook like that. And I ain't sending it also either. Like, nothing. We're not doing nothing. We might cook, we might not. It's just a lot of money for just me and him to eat, so. We don't cook that much. Okay, let me turn this oven on 350. I'm gonna cook them for maybe a little bit. I'm gonna turn them down about 250, I think. Cook mine slow. Be 4 hours. I'll do 275 for now. Oh, let me turn this down a little bit and put my okay. And whatever's left over, he'll bring home, so I just didn't expect to spend $80 on them. I spent $50 this morning. He got 2 drinks and I got a drink, so let's say 45. Or let's say 40. And he spent 30 something last night, so they better enjoy them. And then I got these for the co-worker. I got these for the co-worker, so I'm gonna brown these, and I guess I'll just leave these. Well, I guess I'll cook them both. No, he's off till Monday, so I'm gonna try to do prison stories this weekend. Since we don't have any Thanksgiving to go to, I'm gonna try to do prison stories and tutorials and maybe some response videos. I'd like to do a Q&A, but maybe I can get him to. He bought us speakers. I don't know why he bought me microphones if we're not going to do content. They're great. Of course, they're not great without their children, without their parents, but I mean, they're great. Like, that situation is, I wish it was a little different on how they're acting, the person on them. But other than that, I'm totally happy where my children are. That's why we chose to sign over temporary guardianship. That way, they were not part of the foster system. They were not part of the adoption. They're not part of DCS. They are legally signed over to family temporarily. Until we get a house, which is what we're working on. His credit is 730, my credit's 645. We are staying in this small house. That way we can save money. That way we can save, we're gonna do like a video, not a live. Kevin doesn't know how to do lives. And he'd be responding and reacting, and I mean like a video that I can edit. That's what I mean. Baked beans, girl. And green beans. I think I'm going to boil my green beans first and then put them in that pan that I bought. Ignore his mess. This is all his legal stuff. I just don't mess with it because I don't know where to put it. So this is his area. My area is the bedroom. And about January, we're going to start remodeling, putting stuff. I got to put stuff in the storage unit and then get his stuff set up. But we're living here on purpose to save money. So that we can buy and have a down payment. Yeah. I'm taking them. I got to take them up there. I don't talk about specifics with the kids. Sorry. Nobody's business. Even if we were going, it's nobody's business. Even if we weren't going, nobody's business. So, a lot more things than y'all know about, and it's just not worth getting into, to be honest. Because the internet's going to take it and turn it however they want, and I could have the wholehearted truth posted and I'd still be called a liar. So, no reason to include my children online. It's nobody's business. That's what everybody said, is etc. Mary Lou, have a beautiful, blessed day, lovely. You have no idea what you're talking about, but God bless you. Funny to me that you think you know it all. Because of the haters who aren't involved. But it's okay. Birds of a feather flock together. Even without proof or evidence, you believe anything you hear. So, I ain't gonna argue with people like that, and I don't even care, to be honest. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the person I blocked. Not you. Not you, lovely. I would block you if I thought you were being rude. I was talking to somebody else. Okay, baby. Good morning. I need to text you and ask you a question. Send me your baby's name. I know you know what I'm talking about. Send me your baby's name so that I can start making the stuff that I talked to you about. I want to make her a custom headband like I did my customer the other day. I know she's gonna be born in January, but I figured I'd make her at least a Valentine's or a St. Patrick's or Easter or something, you know. Well, like I said, the best thing I've learned is keep your children offline. Keep what they're doing offline. Keep their faces offline. Unless they want to come online and be part of it when they're a teenager going into an adulthood, not before that, then different story. But all you're asking for is drama and trouble and people to judge your parenting and all that. So it's stupid to put your kids online, and the people who don't get the hate, they don't put their children online. So they keep them offline. So I will not be sharing Layton's face. I may share when he's first born. I may share one picture with y'all just to announce him. Other than that, I don't plan on sharing him. If my oldest son, he's like, Mom, you can post that video. I haven't. Because it's just no reason to. Like, even Harper's Haven, I didn't know there was this word, but her mom was talking about it this morning. How a parasocial relationship or something like that. Look her up. And it made so much sense. And she said she had to take Jacinda had to take Harper offline because she was being stalked. Same thing that caused me to be stalked. Cooking for my kids. Coming live. Showing my house. It's reality TV for free. So, no thank you. At the expense of your children's mental health, your children's personality, your children's protection. I mean, when you go in a store and people are like, hey, I know you from TikTok, and it's your children, not a good thing. And when you're going viral, you don't know, like I told somebody else, you don't know it's happening. You get so caught up in the, well, this could help my family. Well, I could go viral. My business could make a lot of sales. And when you first start out, you don't see all the drama on TikTok. You see what is by your followers. So when you've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, 4,000 people following you, your algorithm's much smaller. Whenever you go viral and you've got 20, 30, 40, 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, you see more. So you see more on your algorithm and you see how the TikTok actually works. But by then it's too late. And I mean, I've tried talking to other moms. I've tried talking to Stephanie and Gabby and all of them about not telling what they're doing. Stop saying so much. Stop giving so much details. You don't have to. You can make money on lives by thanking people. Honestly, just thank them. You don't got to be personal at all. But you get caught up in the whirlwind of this could be life-changing like everybody else. But what they don't show you is like the Lamberts and other people who had money before TikTok and before the internet. They can afford lawyers. They can afford for DCS to show up and the cops and to go get a lawyer. When you're middle class and lower class, you can't. You're hoping off TikTok. Now, I've used TikTok for my business and to show my family. I was wrong about my family. I should have just did my business and myself. And Kevin agrees. He should have participated. He should have come home and participated and made an illusion. I mean, most things you see online is an illusion. It's what they want you to think. It's what they can fight all day long and come home and sit down for 30 minutes and do videos together, and you could think that they're the perfect couple. Allie and Noah. I mean, we could talk about multiple people. The Merrifields. Did you see that he got arrested off of Seeking Sister Wives? Derek got arrested yesterday. Now that calm-speaking Christian man got arrested for domestic violence. So, it's all an illusion, guys. It's all a narrative. It's all a narrative. And we didn't play into the narrative. We gave social media our free life, so free reality, for free. And I was wrong about that. I was wrong about that. Now, the haters are wrong for all that they do to try to ruin somebody's life. But I was wrong for giving it to them. No, lovely. If you've not been around, then there's no reason to, like, I'm not getting into all that. They did not take them for that reason. I've always been honest on the reason. I've never lied to y'all, not once. That's been a problem of mine, is not telling too much. Got my bacon right quick. Alright, pour some onions in here. Onions. Bacon! I'm cooking, girl. It wasn't my plans, but here I am. TikTok was a major part, girl, but that wasn't the reason, but it was a major denominator. Listen, I've got 95,000 followers on my main page. Go follow me over there. It explains a lot more. It's LILSTAR92. Little Star 92. Not little, little. Little Star 92. That's my main page. Alrighty. Alright. Got the hamburger meat cooked but not overcooked. Good mixture. Okay. Happy. Oh, thank you. I may not be on tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not doing anything, but I might not be on. I might be on. I don't know. It'll be boring. I don't know. I am making baked beans, loaded green beans, and rolls because Kevin burnt them this morning and I have to. I've explained it a couple times, but if you don't participate, you can't eat at work. Corporate won't buy them Thanksgiving. They buy the turkey and the ham, and I think that's it. And he told them if they didn't bring something, they couldn't eat. So, like I said, I told Kevin to come home yesterday, and we would go to Corinth and go to Walmart and buy his baked bean. He likes making loaded baked beans. So I had an order to drop off. Well, that changed last minute. And he went to the DG at about 9:45. He got home at 10:15. I told him, just let me cook them in the morning. That way they'll be warm. He wanted to cook them because everybody brags about his beans at family gatherings and stuff. So he came home and put them in the oven about 11:30. About 2:30, he got up, and I slept on the couch setting up with him because I thought that he had turned them off. And I was going to keep the truck today and go change my last name and go meet that girl with an order. And then I was going to go by and pick him up. Well, he got up at 2:30, and I thought he had turned them down. I thought he was slow cooking them. No, he left them on. So at 4:45, I got up and I was like, I'm gonna stay home today since he gets off at 2, and I'll just go meet my friend, my customer after 2. And I went to the bed and laid down at about 4:45, and he don't curse anymore, but he said F or shit or gosh dang it, I'm so stupid. He, saying a bunch of words. I was like, what? And he was like, I burned them. I'm like completely burnt. So the dogs and the chickens got baked beans this morning, and I had to take him to work. Luckily, the grocery store was open at 5 instead of me having to wait till 7 and 8. And so now I'm making baked beans, green beans, and like I said, one of his co-workers didn't have the money to buy stuff for the meal, and he wasn't going to get to eat. So Kevin offered to bring rolls for him. He forgot the rolls last night. So I went this morning and spent $50 more. We spent $80 on beans. And so I spent $50 on baked beans. We're having loaded baked beans, loaded green beans, and rolls for his work. I put my green beans in my pot. I put onions in it. Now I'm putting bacon. No, he volunteered himself and then he burned them. I said, well, you don't want to eat, so just clean. But if you don't bring something, you've got to clean for the hour that they eat. So here I am. Which is okay. We'll see how they turn out. We'll see if they turn out good or not. I know, like I told y'all, Kevin, there's 180 something plants for the company he works with. Kevin beat the record. Kevin beat the record last year for most poundage ran. They made a $15 million profit just off of his line. Kevin's the only machine operator. They don't have a night shift because he runs so daggone much. He's going to be on the October magazine cover for history. Most poundage ran, and it's before October. He's ran more this year than he did last year. And he said 15 million profit last year just off my line, and I beat that this year in October. They should cover this meal. And like he said, he made an agreement that each ton that he ran, he got lunch from the boss. And he said, I mentioned pizza one time, and it's been pizza ever since. He said, I didn't mean pizza every time. I meant like lunch. He said it's the cheap way out. So the company's buying the turkey and ham, and everybody else has to bring a side. So here I am. I was gonna go to bed. I was gonna go back to bed. That didn't happen. It's okay though. When he talks about how everybody says it tastes, I'll be happy. So, you know. Oh, girl, I know. I just hope that his leadership that he's going to, he's already been in Leadership Academy years ago, but he's in leadership with this company. He was 100 people out of 16,000 people were chosen. And he's 1 out of 3 that was chosen from his plant of 100 people. So we're hoping he'll move up and get off the machine, but we'll see. Hey, beautiful. Thank you. Like I said, he's been taking people home that needs rides. He told me that he can do something that won't cost us money or set us out of the way, that he's going to do it. That he's calmed down. All this that we've been through has changed him. He's grown a lot. That's why people at work are noticing. People in public, notice that he's a lot different. And he is. So he takes guys home that needs rides. He like I said, bought those rolls for his co-worker. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I've been praying for you. He don't want to see anybody excluded, and neither do I, So, wouldn't be fair. Alright, so I got my green beans, my onion, and now my bacon. I'm going to put salt and pepper and Italian seasoning in it. Sometimes I put a little bit of pepper in it, most times I don't, so I'm probably not going to this time. I usually put it in my black-eyed peas, but we're not having black-eyed peas, so I don't know if that's good or not. And then I'll put my baked beans together and we'll be done. I'll just have to let them cook for a while. I'm going to let them cook for at least till 12. I may add more bacon, I may not. The pot's pretty full. Oh, they're over here. See the meat? Yeah, I'm working on green beans right now, but the baked beans I'm fixing to put together. That's what I like doing. Yeah, Kevin wasn't going to make green beans, but I did, so here we are. He bought this last night, because I was like, did you buy green beans? He's like, no, but I bought the bacon. Well, why'd you buy the bacon? Because we're not making green beans. Well, so I went ahead and I was like, I'm just going to make both, because that way if nobody brought green beans, you wrote green beans down. That's by one. So I'm just going to let the baked beans slow cook until 12. About 11:30, 12. And I'm going to cook these on the stove top. And then I'm going to cook the rolls, pour them into my pan, the green beans into my pan, and take them. Honestly, I might as well go ahead and use all that bacon, because I think it'd make it much better. Let me pour a little bit more water in it. Okay. I may go ahead and put all that bacon in it. Let me see. Let me pull it over and show y'all. Here. There's the green beans. I have gallbladder problems, and so I don't eat a lot of greasy stuff either. I know I shouldn't be using this because it's coated, but I don't want to make a mess. I'm just trying to see like how much ratio there is to beans, because there's a lot of beans. I just don't know if I bake them if they'll be as good. I like to just boil them and then I can put them in the oven and keep them warm for a little bit. You know? Looks like a lot of bacon to me, but I don't know. I think that if people don't get, you know, good bites, they won't get any bacon. So, I don't know. I might add a little bit more, but then I don't want to be too much bacon. I don't know. I might leave it. Because it looks pretty decent right now. Y'all help us. Let me do what I want. I'm just kidding. I'm just picking with y'all. Alrighty. Put it on fine. I think. I was just joking with you, baby. I was just picking. Because honestly, you can't make me do anything I don't want to do anyways. Yes, it'll be boiled with the green beans. Okay. Alrighty. My sea salt. Okay. Italian. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay. Oh, somebody said, am I cooking? No, I don't know. We hadn't decided yet. It's just, like I said, there's five dishes I would like. I would like a turkey, mashed potatoes, and rolls. I like dipping my rolls in mashed potatoes and eating turkey with it. And then I would like a sweet potato casserole and dressing. But that's a lot of food for just me and Kevin. And Kevin don't eat a lot. And I don't really either. That's why I said, just don't eat. You don't want to eat anyways. Don't eat. I'm talking about today at the dinner. So, so we may or may not. We haven't decided yet because it's just so expensive. We spent, like I said, we spent $80-something just on this. Because Kevin burnt the first pan, that's why. Well, we were going to, if we cooked, we were going to. I was going to give it to my grandparents, but that's still a lot of cooking just for me and him. I mean, you can't get a small turkey. You can't get a small ham. So, you know, it's got to be a big one. We don't talk about the specifics of the children. Alright, let's see if I can get my... Yeah, I would like some stuffing. I don't really want to buy chicken with all what's been going on lately, but Kevin said we could use the turkey. I was writing down a list last night of things, and turkey, ham, and those dishes that I said. I've made so much of this because I figured this would be left over and we could eat on this with our meal. But I called, my grandpa's birthday was yesterday. He turned 85, so I called. They're cooking today for them, for my grandma. My grandma and grandpa's cooking for each other. And I told them that if we cooked, I'd bring them a meal. I'd bring them a plate this weekend. If we didn't cook, I'd bring them a fish plate. We took on KFC a couple weeks ago, and Kevin said it was the best money he'd spent in a long time. My grandpa, 8 o'clock at night, was like, I've been craving this. Nobody would bring it. He'd been, we don't like cranberry. He does, I don't. And he likes sagey dressing. I don't like sagey dressing. I like using, not sage, the other thing. You know, gives it flavor. I use sage, and he uses, I've never made dressing, he makes it. Sage and the other, that makes it poultry season. There you go. Thank y'all. Brain would not work. Poultry season. And I've never cooked the turkey. He always has. It's always so juicy. But he don't really care for ham. I do. So buying a ham just for me wouldn't make sense. So it's just a lot of cooking. Like I said, he's already wasted a whole pan of baked beans he bought last night. And it was a bigger pan than I have. His is thicker than mine. I think it was like 5 cans of baked beans that he burnt. But it'll be alright. Maybe mine will taste better or good or just as good or he says it'll be better, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. Well, Kevin, we learned this on TikTok a while back. If you turn your turkey upside down, put butter and stuff in the skin, all the juices drain to the breast, and it's not dry. All your juices don't go out into the bottom of the pan. Oh yes, I have my websites posted. I have 400 and something items posted. Use code TikTok, TIKTOK, capital letters for 10% off. I will be starting a Black Friday sale. Hopefully it'll go in effect. I'll try to do it in a minute for at least 20 or 25% off, and I'll probably have it under Black Friday. So we do have bows made. I will get them shipped out. I've got a few orders I'm going to package here in a little bit to take when I take this to him. So check out our website. I am still doing games. I don't do them as much, but I am going to try to get back into games. I need to make sales. Oh, well, thank you. I am looking for bow affiliates. Bow affiliates receive 30% off. You're asked to buy a box a month, either a subscription box or at least one purchase, at least $35 to $40 or more. I usually say 50 because 30% off 50 is like, you know, $15, $20, so $15. So I usually say a $50 minimum purchase. And if you become a bow affiliate, all I ask is you purchase once a month and you post 2 times a month. So you post on our Facebook page. You can post anonymously. You can send me the review. You don't have to show the girls. You don't have to post the girls. You can show them in the box when you get them. Or you can show them hanging on the wall. You can show them from behind. So I'm looking for bow affiliates. I really like to do my bow business and get it going to where I have regular orders and stuff, because I enjoy making my bows. But I need to make sales for Grandma because they had a big bill come up yesterday and she's stressing. And I don't blame her. I wouldn't have paid what she paid to went to the doctor, but you have to sometimes. So, but yes, they're on the website. It's in the link in the bio, like I said. If you'll give me here, and then when I get this all put on, I'll put that 20 or 25% in for y'all. Yeah, girl. Yes, I can make custom bows. Yes, ma'am. I can make cheer bows with them sublimated. I can make them with vinyl. I can make big bows. My number is also in the website. No. If we make food, I'm going to take it to Grandma, but no, our family don't have gatherings because certain people have split our family up. We haven't had a family gathering since 2015, if you can wonder why. But Grandma Billy is also a diabetic, and she blends her food up. She can't chew it. So even if I take her a meal, she's going to blend it up. So, now my dad, he don't have any teeth, and somehow he eats it, but he's got sugar also. But he don't manage his as good as she does. Like, he's a man, you know. I'll eat what I want while I'm alive. Sounds just like my grandpa. Now he was dead at 63 because of it. Because he wanted to eat whatever he wanted to eat and thought it wouldn't bother him. So, but we do have plans. If we cook, we're going to take it to my grandma, my grandpa, my grandma, my dad. But it's just a lot of money. Like, it'd probably be $150 just to make what I said, and then be so much food, you know. And me and Kevin just don't eat a lot, so we really don't. I know, I want to leave a little bit. That's why I just hadn't full. I usually use a napkin. I usually do. Kevin had never really seen it but yeah, just got a little bit in there. It's good. Like I said, heck, we've spent $80 on baked beans. No joke, because he burnt them. Oh man. Okay. Well, I thought about putting them in this little. I wouldn't have enough room. Oh wait. Oh, there's a lid. Where'd the lid go? Trashley. Gosh, girl. Oh, thank you for watching. Alright, I've got the green beans on. They're boiling. Girl, my dad, he thinks that shots and pills prevent him from... Like, are you... What? Men, you know, men. Alright, I'm going to sit you back over here while I put the beans together. That way maybe y'all can have a better view. This view is kind of... I don't know. Alright, let's see. Alright, here's this. Now let me get my pan. Awesome. Okay. Everything came out. This is not on. I'm married. I am married. Married, girl. And clearly girl, yeah. Yep. We are legally married. You must be blocked on my other pages, aren't you? If you're blocked on my other pages, let me know. I'll unblock you in a minute. Because I can't go live on my main page anyways. No reason to have you blocked. If you make a rude comment, then I'll just block you again. But a lot of y'all got wrongfully blocked because of bad mods, so. But yeah. L-I-L, Lil Star, LILSTAR92. I have 2 live pages and 1 main page. My main page has 95,000 followers on it. 700,000 likes. Okay, give me just a second when I get done with this and I'll do that. Just give me a moment. I'm close to being done with this and I can do what I said, you know. Because, girl, because. It's not for me to say why I don't. Some people don't have clean houses, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Some people don't have the cleanest houses and they have to do with what they got. And I don't have time to go clean it up beforehand. So, you know, I didn't know they were cooking until last night. My grandpa's 85. My grandma is 77. So, you know, I didn't know they were cooking until last night when I called them. And I thought my aunt was going to cook with them, but she's not. It's the first time that they haven't cooked together. Usually it's my aunt and my grandparents that cook together on my mom's side. But this year it's just my grandparents going to cook for themselves. So, and I don't know if they're cooking. I didn't ask. It was Papa's birthday yesterday, so I called to wish him a happy birthday. He turned 85, and she turned 77 in the 5th. And then Grandma Billy turned 82 on the 19th. So all of them have birthdays in November. But yeah, I didn't know they were cooking, girlfriend. I didn't know. I thought they weren't going to cook. But they are. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and make the other ones. Oh, I'm sorry. Kevin's dad's birthday was the 13th. Probably, girl, probably. But he loves making these baked beans, so. And everybody at his, every time we went to family gatherings, they asked for him to bring this, so. I'm hoping we'll have leftovers and I can eat on them, so that's the reason I'm making so many. I'm making baked beans and green beans and rolls for Kevin's work because he burnt his baked beans. He left them on in the stove all night by accident and burned them. And you can't eat unless you bring, so he'd been sweeping the floor if I didn't cook. So here I am cooking. His friend couldn't afford to bring something, so we bought rolls for his friend, so his friend is not excluded. They better enjoy it. We spent $80 on this meal. It's at 1 o'clock, guys. I've got plenty of time, I promise. Plenty of time. He's gonna bring me a plate home. And even if he don't, I'll have beans left over, I'm sure. Alright, now here's all the beans, but I mean this is for 30 to 50 people, so you know, it's really not that lot. 30 to 50 people. This is the biggest thing. This is just an additive. He wrote down green beans and he meant to write down baked beans, and he always makes great baked beans, so, I won't be cooking tomorrow, sweet pea, so whatever he brings home will be what I have. Alright. Baked beans. This is the hamburger with bell peppers and onions. I know, don't use metal on a stainless steel, on a coated. I'm only using it because I don't want to dirty more dishes. There's that. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the bell pepper and the rest of the onion. Okay, there's the bell pepper and the onion. Here is the onion. Huh. What do you mean, baby? Yeah, I mean, it's just loaded baked beans. That's it. He volunteered to bring, he didn't volunteer. You have to bring something to eat. So, he meant to put baked beans down, and he wrote green beans. And so, he's always good at baked beans, and he burnt them. He put them in the oven at 11:30. He checked them at 2:30, and I thought he turned them off, and he left them on. So when he got up at 4:45, they were burnt. A whole 5 cans. A whole 5 cans of baked beans was burnt. So, thank you. You're so sweet. Alright, now I'm going to mix this up. And then I'm going to add ketchup, mustard, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, brown sugar, maybe a little bit of regular sugar. So mixy, 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 mixy. There's a lot of mixing. Yeah, he always gets compliments when he makes his baked beans. He don't do as much as I do. I overdo it, but he always gets compliments about it. So, all right, I'm gonna do sea salt. Okay, I'm gonna do pepper, but I'm gonna do regular pepper instead of crushed. Okay, I'm gonna do garlic powder. Do onion powder. Onion powder. Even though we got onions in it, I know, sounds crazy, but it ain't, I promise. And then I'm going to put a little bit of paprika, where my paprika is. Loaded baked beans, green beans, and rolls. Alrighty, brown sugar. And I'll stick my spoon in a minute, a clean spoon, and taste the liquid to make sure it tastes okay. If it don't, I'll adjust. So, there's that. Let's see, brown sugar. I don't really want to put a lot in like this. Let's just do a little bit. 2 tablespoons. Teaspoons, I mean. Alrighty, let's mix it up. So, green beans, baked beans. Where did I? Oh, I'll use that sugar spoon. Oop, you're about to overboil now. Stop it. Whoa, let's turn you down a little bit. This eye gets like scorching hot, scorching hot. All right, get in there. Stop it. Okay, there's this. Okay, put this back up, put this back up. All right. Yeah, I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done yet, I promise. I thought Kevin put barbecue in his, but he don't. So, ignore me when I said that yesterday. I said barbecue, and he said, I put barbecue in my beans. I was like, oops. I thought you did. And I almost did, but I ain't. I'm making loaded baked beans. I call them loaded green beans and rolls. I had to. I wasn't planning on being up this early, but here I am. It's a long story, but I'll go over it again. We're not having Thanksgiving. We might not. I don't know. I ain't decided yet. It's just too much food to cook for me and Kevin. And even if I take it to my grandma and grandpa, my grandma and my dad, it's still a lot of food you have to cook and a lot of money. So, heck, we spent $80 on baked beans. No joke. Literally. It's not a lie. Hello. What in the world? Let's see if I can use all this. Come on. Yeah. Girl, part of lives is just repeating yourself, honey bun. That's what part of life is on here, is repeating yourself over and over and over and over and over again. Legit, that's what it's about on here, is repeating yourself. Oh, you're okay. I don't care. I'm used to it by now. That ain't enough ketchup, but alright, let's get the other one out. Thank you. And then he bought rolls because one of his co-workers couldn't afford to participate. He wasn't gonna get to eat, so he forgot the rolls last night. So I would have had to go to the store and get rolls anyways. But I didn't expect to do this, which is fine. It only took me a little bit. So, it only took me, what, an hour or two? I'm good. Like I said, I'm going to mix it all together. Use a clean spoon and taste test the liquid. If it don't taste the way I want, I will fix it. Better to do less than too much. Just like hair. You can't put back once you've taken it away, but you can put more in if you put too less. So, always better to be less than too much. Yes, here, I'll explain again, which is no problem. That's not me complaining, that's just me saying I'll explain. Kevin's company they're wanting everybody to bring something this year or you can't eat. If you don't bring something, you can't eat. Do we think that's right? No, the company should buy it. Especially because Kevin is the only machine operator on his line. There's no night shift. And last year, his machine alone profited $15 million. This year, he's beat that record by October. Him and his line are supposed to be on the company's magazine very soon for October, beating the history. So if they made $15 million profit last year, no telling how much they made this year. This should be provided. But I digress. What the boss said is corporate doesn't provide this. So the boss is buying the turkey and ham, and everybody else has to bring a platter or something. Well, Kevin's always been known for his baked beans at our family gatherings. So he wrote down green beans. And he said, I didn't mean to write down green beans, actually. I meant to write down baked beans. Well, last night, I was supposed to meet a customer for an order, and those plans got changed last minute. So he didn't stop by the store because I told him not to. So at 9:45, he ran up to DG and he got stuff to make baked beans. He came home, he put them in the pan, a smaller pan than this, just a regular, one of these little pans, cake pans, and he made them. He put them in the oven about 11:30. Well, he sleeps on the couch because I can't get comfortable with how big I am, and him in the bed makes me sick. I get nauseous. So I sit on the couch with him because I didn't want to go on I wasn't going to take him to work. I was gonna keep the truck and meet my friend, and then do other stuff, get my name changed, get my license in my married name, etc. Well, he forgot to turn them off. So when he got up at 2:30 to check them, I thought he turned them off. He left them on. So when he woke up at 4:45, they were burnt. And so it's either don't bring something and clean for an hour, sweeping floors where everybody else eats, or save the day. So I had to go to the grocery store that opened at 5 o'clock and buy more stuff. And then his friend, they have been redoing their house, and he forgot about it, and he couldn't afford to bring anything, so Kevin volunteered to bring rolls for him so he can participate. He forgot the rolls last night. So here's the co-worker's rolls so that he can participate. So instead of just making baked beans, I made loaded baked beans, and he made loaded baked beans too, but the dogs and the chickens ate them because they were burnt. And here's the green beans that he originally said, but he chose not to make. So, yes, I went to bed and I was laying. He was like, oh, G. He didn't say G. He said F. Oh my gosh, this is my clean spoon. Oh my gosh, I left them and they burnt. So, so yeah. That's what we're doing. We are making beans. They ate them like crazy. And the other dog, the three-legged dog, he went out to the road out here, out to the driveway, trying to eat the leftover burnt edges. It does. I told him, I said, go over there and tell him I worked 10 hours or 11 hours yesterday and you expect me to go home and cook all night? You know? But it is what it is, you know? And they'll be good. I know they will, so. Listen, baby, listen. Listen. Listen, I've already been told that. When you're starving, you eat anything, okay? Those aren't our animals. They eat anything. These were cooked onions, and even if so, they eat SHIT paper. They eat anything in the garbage left over because their owners do not feed them. We feed them dog food and scratch for their chickens. But if we have leftovers, we feed them to them because they're starving. Not our animal, okay? And the owners watch us feed them. And just like sit over there like, oh, hey. So. Oh, I mean, you're welcome. We like them, so I mean, we get enjoyment out of watching them eat. So you know, three-legged even came up and ate this morning, so I was quite surprised about that. He came up and ate the baked beans that I poured out. He don't usually come up very much. He stays pretty distant. I'm making loaded baked beans and loaded green beans and rolls. Kevin's work. He burned them and he's got to bring something or he can't eat, so I'm remaking them. Remaking them. Alright, let me get that clean spoon. Clean spoon. I have to wash a couple spoons, but oh well. Let's see. Better. Better. Oh, hamburger meat, onions, peppers, brown sugar, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, salt, pepper, ketchup, mustard. Yeah, let me send Kevin a picture right quick. Or a video, not a picture. Okay. There's that. Turn those on low, and then there we go. Okay, here I'll show you. Alright, there you go. Here's the baked beans. Hold on, I'm sending him this video. No, I don't, but I thought I was forgetting something. I might put a little bit in it. And then ham, bacon with onion, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper for the green beans. Thank you. Kevin always gets compliments on his baked beans, but he says I put more. He said he dumps the beans in, he makes his hamburger meat, he dumps it in, puts his bell peppers and onions, puts ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar. I add all the other stuff. So, there's that. And then here's this. Doing wonderful. I might put a little bit of Worcestershire in there. I don't know if I got Worcestershire or not. Dawn. Oh, I do. Worcestershire. Just a little bit. Give it some flavor. And there we go. And I could have swore he put barbecue in his, but he don't. He said he don't, so. I could have swore he put barbecue sauce in it, but he said he didn't, so. We'll see. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Not us, love you. Just that way when we came here. That way when we moved in. Alright. Loaded baked beans, loaded green beans for Kevin's work. He burned them. He burnt $30 worth of food, so I'm having to make it. I wasn't planning on it. He just left them in the oven like this morning and burned them, so here I am. Oh, it's heavy. Alright, there they are. Alrighty, let's clean up. Clean up my area. Here's my green beans. I turned them down. They stopped doing anything. Lordy mercy. They either rolling and burning at low or they're off. probably won't. I don't know yet. We're undecided. It's just so much food for just me and Kevin. I told my grandparents if we did cook, I'd bring them leftovers, but I'm just not sure yet. They're cooking, my grandma and grandpa's cooking today for themselves. My dad and Grandma Billy is, oh, thank you. My dad and Grandma Billy's diabetic, so is my other grandpa. So if we do cook, there's some things, we don't talk about the kids. There's some things that I would like a turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, rolls, sweet potato casserole, chicken and dressing. And that's a lot of food just for me and Kevin. It's a lot of cooking just for me and Kevin. I mean, heck, we spent $80 just on the baked beans because he burnt the first bunch. So, literally, $80 already just to feed work. So, you know, it'd probably be $150 to buy a turkey, ham, and the stuff for dressing, mashed potatoes, rolls, and sweet potato casserole. So, we may not. Me and Kevin don't eat a lot. I told him this morning when he burnt the things, I said, just don't eat. Clean up that hour. You don't want to eat anyways. You don't like eating. But he didn't want to go without anything and, you know, and then make the other guy go without anything. So he sent me the money and I went and picked up the stuff and here we are. Here we are making it. So I'm going to cook them on 300 instead of 350 since I'm going to cook them for 10, 11, 12, 3 hours. Really, only the beans are having to cook, so cook these on low. So, you know, I don't know if I really want to spend that much money just for me and Kevin to have Thanksgiving when my grandparents and them, they would rather have a fish plate from somewhere because they haven't had fish in a long time. So I had asked them if they wanted, well, like I said, we went by there a couple weeks ago and my grandpa's been asking me for KFC for 3 years, and I told Kevin before we went that I wanted to get him KFC, and so I did. And even though it was late because Kevin didn't get off of work till late, and then we had to go get the food, which is 30 minutes the opposite direction. It was like 8 o'clock when we got there, and they got up and started eating immediately. And Kevin said that was the best money he'd spent in a long time, seeing my grandma and grandpa enjoy food when you could tell they didn't have a lot. So we'd rather do that. We'd rather let them have Thanksgiving, eat on it, you know, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, and then take them a fish plate Sunday or, you know, beginning of next week, and them have something different. But we might. We talked about it. He knows how much I like mashed potatoes, rolls, and turkey. I would just eat that. Mashed potatoes, rolls, and turkey. That's my favorite. I like dipping the mashed potatoes with the roll and then eating a piece of turkey with it. He likes dressing. And I do too. But that's a lot. You know, you can't get a small turkey. You can't get a small ham. So it'd be a big turkey, a big ham, and then small sides. And that's still expensive. So I'm just not sure we're going to, especially having to cook and all the cleanup and all that. I mean, heck, he didn't get to clean up his stuff last night, and here I am having to make again because he burned it by accident. Okay, it finally got up to that. But it's okay. I told him I'm gonna wait. Well, if that was the case, I might check that. Kevin makes a dang good turkey, though. He always makes it really good. Okay, great. There ain't no drama llamas on this morning. I don't guess I need to wrap this one up because it's whole. Don't know why I'm wrapping it up. Oh well. We'll just put it in there. Hey, beautiful. Listen to the wind blow. Watch the sunrise. How are y'all today? Oh, thank you. I used to cook a lot on here. I used to cook every day when my kids were home. Now I don't cook as much because it's just Kevin and I. Truthfully. Alright, put these over here because I'll make these whenever. Oh, I'm gonna put them there. I'll make those whenever we get about probably, I don't know how long it takes to cook them. Oh, 10 minutes. So I figure about 12 o'clock I'll put them in, then I'll leave about 12:20, 12:30 and head and take it to them. Oh, well, thank you. We put them in everything, girl. Like everything, literally everything. Look, the raw onions I'm going to throw away. Y'all ignore Kevin's mess on the couch. That's his legal stuff he's learning. And he is, and he ain't lying, it's the truth. So, now I don't know how to explain it to y'all, but it's true. What he's learning is true. Well, thank you. I don't cook at all. This is probably the first meal I've made, or the first items I've made in a while. Since I was on live with y'all last, I haven't made a lot of stuff. Nothing. Lovely. The couch is not in the kitchen. This is how big our house is. By choice. We're in the process of buying, and it's cheaper than what the hotel was. The hotel was $1,400 plus laundromat plus eating out, and we pay $800 here. We pay, everything's included: couch, recliner, coffee pot, stove, refrigerator, washer, dryer, internet, water, electricity, all included for $800. So we saved $1,600 right off the bat by moving here. Kevin's credit is $735, mine is $645. So we are currently saving up. We have looked at houses, land, trailers, etc. We wanted to be moved out before Layton got here, but that's probably not going to happen. So as long as we're moved out by March or April, I'll be happy. I don't want to jump and regret purchasing our forever home and it be something we don't want. Does it feel like jail most days? Yes, it does feel like jail. Is it cluttered? Yes, it is. Between my craft stuff and his learning stuff, everywhere. But I'll pick it up in a minute and put it all together. And his legal stuff, I don't know how to explain it to you. I don't know. I'm not lying to you. I really don't know. He's learning about trust. He's learning about all kinds of stuff. He's already got our trust account set up. He's already got, I mean, all kinds of stuff. If I knew how to explain it, I would tell y'all, but I don't have to. And honestly, at first, I didn't believe him. Y'all know that. I thought he was lunatic. But when you go to the courthouse and you file things with him at the courthouse, and they file it, and they talk to you about it, it's got to be true. When you receive paperwork from New York State and the Department of Treasury and all these other things, it's true. So there's just a lot of things that he's learned this last year that I thought he was silly over, but he isn't. So no. His name's Leighton Reese. It was off of a relative race. Off of relative race from last year. We had just never heard the name. I offered to name it after his dad. His dad passed away last year in November. His mom passed away in March of last year. We talked about naming him after his dad or after him. But he doesn't want Neelan or his oldest son to feel like, well, why didn't we get to be a junior? Or why did they get Papa's name but we didn't? So he doesn't want them to feel like, he feels like if it's your junior, it should be your first or second child, preferably your first. And he doesn't want the other children to think, well, why wasn't I special that I didn't get a family name? So we got Neelan Knox, Trustin Isaiah, Leighton Reese. And that's definitely his name. It's not changing. We thought about Samuel Dwayne because his dad's name's Samuel, and then his dad's name was Samuel D. His brother's name is Wayne, middle name is Wayne, and Kevin's is D. Wayne, like D. Wayne. I've been calling him Duh Wayne. So we thought about putting Duh Wayne, D for his papa, Wayne for his uncle, and E for his other uncle as his first initial, and then Samuel for his dad, or Leighton Dwayne Cheryl, but he likes Leighton Reese better. He says it goes better with Neelan Knox and Trustin Isaiah, just how their names sound. And it goes good with Cheryl, Leighton Reese Cheryl. I do have a small registry. I don't know if I did it right or not, but I did put a small registry on there because people were asking. But please don't feel obligated to look at it or anything. I'm due the end of February. I am be 27 weeks. I'm due February 27th, between February 27th and March 3rd. He was measuring behind a little bit, but he's good. So by my period, it's February 27th. It should be in the link in the bio, lovely. My website's also in the bio. Code TikTok for 10% off, capital letters. I'll be putting in a Black Friday sale here in just a few minutes when I get these dishes done. This is my 11th. R11th, my 9th. This is my 9th pregnancy, R11th. This isn't my main page, you must be new. Which is okay. It's a long story, girl, long story. Too much to get into, but yeah, yes. We have a 32-year-old, a 26-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old. Our miscarriage would be 8. We have a 7-year-old, a 3.5-year-old. I had a molar pregnancy in October of last year, 2024, and I'm due in February. I don't yet. I told Kevin that me and him will probably have to buy the car seat stroller combo and my wireless breast pump. I don't like shopping. I hate it. I hate shopping. I hate picking out stuff. I hate reviewing stuff. So I'm just so undecisive. I don't really care what he uses. But if I'm going to get a nice stroller car seat combo, I'd like to get one that's not outrageous, but that, you know, is a good quality and will last, because with Nealon and Trustin, we bought almost everything used. Trustin, a lot of stuff was given to me, and with Nealon, we bought things used. And I prefer used over new any day. This is my 9th baby. I don't need everything. And honestly, I can't fit everything. So, like I told Kevin, until we get moved out of here, I've only got so much room. So right here, this table is gonna go away. My press is gonna go back over here with our printers, and I'm gonna put my cutter machine over here. Then in the bedroom, I'm going to take out, ignore this little area, I gotta do my laundry right quick. I'm gonna take out this, because he put them over there. I'm gonna take out this shoe rack, and I'm gonna put his bassinet there. I have a table, I have 2 tables right here that I work my business on. If for some reason we need more room, I'm going to put his pack and play right here. But I thought about putting his pack and play right here because it'll have a changing table. I've never done a crib before. So I've always done pack and plays. So the pack and play usually has a little bassinet and a changing table with it. He could sleep by the bed at nighttime, and he could sleep in here whenever I'm working or Kevin's in the living room. And then that would give him a changing table, you know, right here. And then I could hang on the wall his diapers, and I figured I'd put his swing right here where this mini fridge is, so he'd have his pack and play and his swing, his bassinet by the bed. And then I would keep 1 or 2 totes in this corner for clothes he can't wear right now. In the bedroom, I have enough room for 2 under the bed totes. So I figured I'd buy him an under the bed tote for anything that's bigger, and then put a small little caddy in the closet with clothes, or an over the door shelf. So I can make do. Now, do I need like a jumper right now? No. Do I need a walker right now? No. But if I receive those, I'm most definitely going to use them, and they will be put in the storage unit until he needs it or we get a bigger place. I would love a home birth. I am going to do cloth diapers. We're trying to find the right brand. I've never done cloth diapers before. I had to get Kevin on board. When that's not the right person. That is not the right person. Maybe it is Lily Tay. Not Lily Tino. You know, Lily Tay that does the cooking and all that. Whenever I sent a picture of her using cloth diapers, he was all for it. So I want to breastfeed this time, really, 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 and I really want to use cloth diapers. We don't receive food stamps, we don't receive WIC, we don't receive Medicaid, we don't receive any of that. So the best way to save money, I would like to do that, and the best for his butt, because Trustin and Nealon both have had problems with diapers. No, I don't have a midwife. I'm seeing a doctor, but I've been waiting for my insurance to kick in. I did see a doctor that's not going to be my regular doctor, but insurance is being whack, so I'm just going to go see somebody until it kicks in, even if it's not the doctor I want to see. And I don't know, I want a home birth. I wanted a home birth so badly, but I promised my grandma Billy that I wouldn't take that risk, because I have 6 other children, plus Kevin's 2 kids that, you know, I'd love to use a midwife, but I won't know closer to time about delivery. My first 4 were not natural, but vaginal, and I went between 9 and 10 centimeters before I got the epidural. My longest labor was 6 hours. My shortest labor was 75 minutes from the time I walked in the door. But Trustin and Nealon were C-sections, and so I don't know. It is. The wish list is on Amazon, baby. They are. That's why I said I don't know if I will or not. I don't know what scar tissue I have and all that. And see, with Nealon's C-section, I lost an ovary and a tube, and I didn't know it. My first C-section, my first surgery, the doctor, we think about unalived me. And then when I had my last baby in a different town, that doctor told me on the operating table. So I hope this one's not eventful. The first one, Kevin got rushed out 15 minutes into it, and then with the second one, we're sitting there talking, and she tells me that I'm missing an ovary and tube, and that I had it before, and now I don't. So I hope this delivery's less eventful. Yeah. Girl, it's on my main page. I've got 95,000 followers on my main page. Most of my content's on that page. If you don't know my story, I have a main page and 2 backup pages. This is one of my backup pages. But hold on, I'll tell you. It was a doctor in my hometown. So I'll just go over it right quick. When I was 16 years old and 1 month, I had Riley at 39 weeks and 1 day. When I walked in with Riley, I was 6 centimeters dilated. No, I was 7 centimeters dilated. And they had to call the anesthesiologist in because there was nobody else available, and she'd gotten off the flight from Jamaica. Whenever I went in, I had placenta previa. Grandma Billy, my water had already broke, and I told Grandma Billy, I said, my water, and I was like, I think 9 centimeters then, and she checked and I was bleeding, and she went and got the doctors and rushed them in, told them I was bleeding, and they were afraid that I was delivering my placenta first. So he called the anesthesiologist in, and he said, Ashley, I don't want you to miss the birth of your first child, especially at 16. And if you don't get an epidural or a spinal tap, and I get back there and you're delivering your placenta first, he said, you won't get to see your baby be born. So she came in and gave me an epidural. She poked me 3 times, it didn't work. And then she finally got me with a spinal tap, and my left leg went jumping up in the air, and Grandma said, what was that? And she said, oh, it's normal, come on. And they went rushing me down the hallway because I was 10 centimeters by then. So I pushed Riley out with the help of forceps, and he didn't breathe for a minute and a half, Grandma said, 2 minutes, it seemed like forever. And he stayed half a day in the nursery. But then I got pregnant with Junior. I had him at 18 years and 3 months. I was 35 weeks and 4 days with him. I walked in with him 8 centimeters dilated. I had him in less than about 3.5 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours. Natty, I walked in with her about 5:30, 5:45 that night. I was 20 years and 3 months with her. She was 35 weeks to the day. Her and Junior had the same due date, but she came earlier than him, so they weren't 2 years apart. They were 4 days from being 2 years apart. When I got upstairs, I was crying, and Grandma Billy told them, she said, if she's crying, she's transitioning. She's between 7 and 10. You need to check her. She said, we can't check her. She's premature. Wait for the doctor. The doctor comes over, and I said, I'm going to be really embarrassed if I'm crying and I'm only 2 centimeters dilated and 0% effaced. So he comes in, he checks me. The nurses are trying to get an IV in me because it was hard to get an IV in me. And he gets done, he stands up, he says, oh, she's 2 centimeters dilated and 0% effaced. And all the nurses just sighed, relief, because they couldn't get my IV in. We were like, good. He took a glove off, said, I'm just joking. She's 80% effaced and 9 centimeters. Get her across the hall. I was either 80 or 100%. Get her across the hall. So I get wheeled across the hall. They had to call an anesthesiologist in because everybody else was in surgery. They had to call him from church. He wasn't too happy about it. And I literally got my epidural at 7 o'clock, and I had her at 7:10. So I should have never got an epidural with her. I should have just done it natural, but because of my first delivery at 16 and me being scared of missing it, it set my tone for the rest. With Andy, I was 21 years and 1 month. They are 9 months and 28 days apart. I walked in with him about 3:45 in the morning, and I had him at 6. I was about 7.5 centimeters when I walked in with him. He was born at 37 weeks and 1 day. Same thing with him. Got the epidural right at the end. Should have did it natural. I know I could have. Let fear convince me otherwise. Then with Neelan, I got pregnant with the miscarriage. I miscarried at 8 weeks. That's the only baby. That's the baby that me and Kevin planned for. We tried for. It took us over a year. Really over a year and a half. Miscarried that baby. Got pregnant with Neelan 3 months later. And I was fine. They do, baby. They do. You can ask my grandma. She was there for all 4 of them. When I got to be about, I'm going to say 30, I can't remember. I want to say 32 weeks, 33 weeks, I started getting preeclampsia, blood pressure. Yeah. And so, I didn't go see my normal doctor. See, the doctors that I seen were partners, and with Riley, Grandma Billy made me see the old doctor. He was like 60s. He had no bedside manners. So, I liked him once I got used to him, but I was afraid Kevin and him wouldn't get along. So, when I first had Riley, I seen Thayer. Mitchell delivered. Then I seen Mitchell because he delivered Riley, and Thayer delivered Junior, his partner. And then with Natty, I seen Thayer, Mitchell delivered, and then I seen Thayer with Andy. He finally delivered the baby that I saw him with the whole year. So whenever I got pregnant with Neelan, I saw Mitchell because I was afraid Kevin and Thayer would not get along. And I trusted him. He was the first doctor to ever see me naked. The first man besides Riley's dad to see me naked, you know. My first doctor. And I trusted him. So when I was due with Neelan, I was starting to have blood pressure problems. So he put me in the hospital. I had to go in. He put me in the hospital for a day to check my proteins in my urine, to collect my urine to make sure my proteins wasn't high, my preeclampsia wasn't bad. Well, they sent me home on Wednesday. I begged them for the boosters for Neelan's lungs, and they wouldn't give it to me. And they sent me home. Well, Friday I had a stress test, and my blood pressure was high again. So he sent me over to the hospital. I went and paid my bills first. I think I went in about 1 that afternoon, and I'd say by 6 they couldn't get my blood pressure down. So I had all the shots, I had MAG, I had all that. My blood pressure wouldn't go down. So they come in, and Grandma Billy had told me, she told me the whole time, I'm not going to see this baby be born. It'll just be you and Kevin. I was like, yes. I'm not going to see this baby be born. I'll be outside. You're having a C-section. And every time I got bad news, Kevin was outside. And it hurt my feelings because, like, you're never here whenever they bring bad news. So, they come in throwing up bags. And I was like, what's going on? And she said, you don't know what's happening? I said, no. She said, you're having a C-section now. And I just looked over at Grandma, and she said, because she was in the room, and she said, I told you. So my doctor shows up, and I had a migraine. I had a bad, bad migraine that they couldn't get to go away. And I've only had labor pains. I've never had a broke bone. I've had a kidney stone. That was the worst thing. But he's like, what pain level are you in? Well, I'm about a 9. I can't open my eyes. My head's on fire. It was the worst headache I've ever had. So when Dr. Thayer shows up, he was like, come on, Squirt. Stop that crying. As soon as I get you back there and we get your epidural in and get this baby out, your headache will go away. So I calmed down. I stopped hyperventilating because it was my first surgery. I was scared of surgery. And I went back there. Well, Kevin comes in. Kevin comes in and he's videoing. And for the time that he comes in, the time they take him out was 14 minutes. So in that video, the doctors, you know, cutting up, talking about the Queen, the Crown. He was watching the Crown at home. He was talking about the Crown. If I was to grope you, would it be sexual misconduct or something? Just making jokes. And he was trying to get Neelan out of me. And he was like, gosh, he's such a big boy. Huge boy. And Kevin goes to peek over the over to get pictures or videos, you know. And he said he was up on his hands and knees trying to get Neelan out. And there was blood all the way up to here. And blood just dripping off the table. So Kevin sits down. And as Kevin sits down, something drops. And he says, G did. He says, G did, fuck. And he turns the music up. And Kevin goes to faint. And I was like, you missed his first cry. That's the most important part. And as soon as they got him out, Kevin, you know, goes to stand up and he's like, let me show Ashley, you know, it's the baby we tried for. It's the one we wanted, you know, we had planned for this baby. And she says, nope, come on, Dad, we gotta go. And they rush him out. And I look at my anesthesiologist, the same one who gave me the spinal with Riley, and my leg shot up in the air. And I said, what's going on? And all I know is she put a mask over my face, and I don't remember anything else. Well, I didn't get out of that operating room until like 11:30 at night. And my C-section was at 9:47. I had Neelan at 9:47. And Kevin's mama is the only person who recognized something wasn't right. She kept telling Kevin, go check on Ashley. Something is not right. She should have already been out of there. Something is wrong. Well, Kevin hadn't had a C-section since 93. So he just thought it was normal. He's like, Mom, I can't do nothing. You know, she's back there. She's fine. Okay, so I come out of C-section. Everybody's went home. Now they come and tell me bye, but everybody went home because it was so late. And then we got pregnant with Trustin. And if you don't know the situation with Trustin, I'll just be honest. I stepped out. We were going through some hard times. I stepped out with somebody I knew for a long time. For the longest, I wouldn't tell y'all this because Kevin told me not to. It was nobody's business. He was the one who was cheated on. He was the one who accepted the baby as his own. He was the one raising the baby as his own. Not online's business. Well, when I got pregnant with Trustin, I took the morning after pill and I prayed if it was meant to be, it would happen. If it wasn't meant to be, it wouldn't happen. If we were meant to work out, we would work out. We weren't meant to work out, I would trust him. That I knew he had plans and that God had plans, and whatever it was, I trusted in him. From probably June until November, we really were roommates. We didn't know what we were doing. We had one car. I hadn't worked in so long. The kids were homeschooling at that time. So, you know, it just, we had no options to move out from each other, so we stayed roommates. Well, then we worked through our problems and started healing. And Isaiah was my favorite book in the Bible during that time because it says that God already has his plan set for you and that when the time is right, it will happen. And God's prophecy. So Isaiah was his name. Isaiah, for the book of Isaiah. Well, then I was watching this murder show, and I thought when I told y'all I thought it was the person that was unalived. It wasn't. It was the murderer. The murderer's name was Trustin. I didn't know that until the other day when I looked it up. So, trusting God's plan, trusting God's prophecy, trusting Isaiah was his name. Nobody liked it. Nobody. Everybody thought I was crazy, thought it was ridiculous. They didn't like it. So, I was hiding my pregnancy because I didn't know if I was going to adopt him or what, because the other person wanted me to abort him, and I refused because if I didn't have one at 15 and I walked the halls in sophomore year pregnant as a Pentecostal, why would I do it now? I knew what I was doing, you know, I just didn't realize I was ovulating. So, that wasn't an option. So I went to the town, a bigger town. I didn't go to the same doctor that I had seen with the first 5. And about 33 weeks, Trustin was head down. And he turned breech. And there was a snowstorm, an ice snowstorm, and I had to drive 1 hour and 15 minutes to get there. And they rescheduled because there was an ice storm. So by the time that I got to go for my ECV, he was 36 weeks, and we could not get him to switch back over. So they scheduled, I got put in the hospital one more time for blood pressure, and they scheduled his C-section at 38 weeks and 6 days. During that C-section, I'm laying on the operating table, and the doctor says, Ashley, this is going to sound weird. She said, but I need you to answer me. And I was like, okay. And Kevin's sitting over there holding trust. And this is why I say God's plans are so much more bigger than we can ever imagine. And Trustin's name is way more fitting than I could have ever imagined because of this reason. If I would have had him naturally, I would have never found this out. And I would have never known. So, especially if I would have had a home birth, I wouldn't have known if I had a vaginal birth. So, it's not just because we worked through our problems and I trusted God and he was healthy and all that. See, I'm supposed to get shots once a week to prevent labor. And I refused those shots with Trustin. And I made it the longest. I made it 38 weeks and 6 days. Besides for Riley. He was my first. But I refused the shots and I made it the longest. So that was one thing. Me and Kevin working through it and him, you know, us being better than we had was one thing. But on the operating table, Kevin's like, does he look, he literally just said, does he look like me? Does he not look like me? And she said, Ashley, this is going to sound weird, but I need you to answer me. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, did you send me the medical was the medical transcript you sent me the only one? You've only had one surgery, right? And I said, yes, ma'am. The C-section. She said, well, these questions are going to seem strange, but was you born without anything? I looked at Kevin and I was like, no, ma'am. Well, have you had anything removed? No, ma'am. She says, I am completely mortified. She said, I have never opened somebody up in 32 years of being a surgeon for a C-section and stuff be missing. She said, please don't freak out. But your right ovary and your right tube is completely gone. And Kevin like, what? And I said, what? She said, I am completely the same way. I am I'm dumbfounded. I'm mortified. She said, please don't freak out. Let's get you and the baby in the recovery. Let me go back. When you came with Neelan, you came to see the specialist. And I said, yes, I did. She said, so the specialist will have all his ultrasounds and all of his stuff. Because the specialist don't deliver. He just monitors. And remember, my first 6, I had a miscarriage. My first 6 was in my small town. Trusted, my number 7, was in a big town. This is where I found this out. And she comes around the next morning for rounds. She comes in and she says, I took your paperwork home last night and I spoke to Dr. Hulky. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, you had both your ovaries and both your tubes when you were pregnant with number 6, which was Neelan, before you had your C-section, your only surgery. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, in your transcript, it says absolutely nothing about taking out ovary or tube. So you definitely have medical malpractice, or you definitely have a personal injury lawsuit. And I would advise you to go get a lawyer and get this in court. And I will most definitely testify for you, because I'm not being held accountable for this. She said, you most definitely had a C-section and a tube and an ovary taken out without your knowledge. But I called everywhere. They told me that the time frame had ran out. I only had a year from the incident when it happened, when I was 3 years in by that point. I called all lawyers. Didn't work. So that's my story of birth. Samantha, thank you for joining in. Here we go. What do you mean by that, baby? By telling my birth stories? You're so troubled by me telling my birth stories? Well, then what's the problem, baby? Because that statement does not seem very kind. Well, girl, I ain't sued. I ain't sued. Everybody says I can. Everybody's like, you can sue, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Tell me how. I would if I knew how. Because that's most definitely not right. You don't just go into surgery and have things missing afterwards just because, and it not be put in the medical transcript. So, you know, all countries, girl, have a wonderful, blessed day, beautiful. You don't know what you're talking about, so you're uninformed like the other people who get on this app and assume and make assumptions and think they know everything about people's lives when they don't. I've been honest with you guys, and if you don't want to believe the truth, then just watch. Step back and watch. I don't care. Wait a minute. Baby Samantha, I have 95,000 followers on my main page. I've been through 5 years of crap on this app, so therefore it comes off the way that you write it. If you don't mean something like that, then you should kind of emphasize it. You know? Like I said, what do you mean by that? You have me so confused. Like, how did that statement even, here we go, what are you talking about? Like, that does seem kind of rude when somebody's telling you their birth story. It does seem like you're, you know, kind of like being, I don't know what word to use with that. So, alright, they've been cooking an hour. Oh, darn. Oh, okay. Oh, her name's so cute. I wonder if I could sue the hospital and the doctor and all the surgical staff that was involved, because it wasn't just him, it was the whole crew that hid it from me. So, you know, but I don't care. I do care. It's troublesome to go into surgery and not know if you're going to come out with stuff that you're not supposed to not come out, you know. Come out with stuff you're not supposed to have, or come out with stuff that you are supposed to have. Either way, at one. No, girl, they just watch the hater pages and then want to come in and assume. Or, you know, just judge off of what everybody else says. Most definitely is hard. People think it's just fine and dandy, simple as pie, but it ain't. It ain't. Then you find the problem of them having to be licensed in the state. I don't know. I won't know closer to time. I won't know until 34 weeks, 35 weeks-ish. I won't know until my blood pressure and if he's head down or not. I don't know. I really don't know, you know. See, here's what we wonder. She thinks also, and so do we, whenever he said GD and F, we think that he slipped and cut my ovary or cut my tube and I was bleeding out. And that's why when Kevin went to look up, or maybe it was right that same time, you know, there was blood everywhere because he had cut me and I was bleeding everywhere, and the needling wasn't out yet. Nealon was not healthy either. He was blue and purple. He didn't breathe for a while. Like, we both were in a critical state. If it doesn't confirm it, here's another confirmation. They let my baby lay up there for 5 days in a nursery that has no NICU with his surfactant not developed. Like, they had normal oxygen. They didn't have the oxygen that they call high flow or low flow or 100%. They didn't have that oxygen to offer him. But they knew that if I got discharged within day 2 or day 3, I would be following him to Jackson, which was a 75-minute drive, and I'd be running up and down the stairs trying to stay with him. So they kept me there for 5 days. And when the doctor walked in, a new pediatrician walked in. For 5 days, they told us, he's great. Then at nighttime, they'd keep the curtains closed and we couldn't see him. We couldn't touch him. We couldn't nothing. And on Wednesday, the pediatrician I'd always seen, the one who kept telling us, he's good, he's good, he's good, he's great. You'll get him tomorrow. Because Kevin was taking his days off so he could be the first person to hold him besides me. So he spent 5 days at the hospital for no reason. On day Thursday, a doctor walked in, and me and Kevin were asleep on the bed together because we thought Nealon was going to come in the room that day. My pediatrician had left for out of country on Wednesday night. Thursday morning, the new pediatrician walked in that I had never met. And he was furious. He walked in and said, I'm sending your baby to Jackson. They're on the way. I don't know who's let this baby lay up here and almost die, but he is up here suffering. We were like, what? What? She just told us that he's going to be in the room today and we'll get to hold him. He said, no, sir. No, ma'am. I'm sorry. But your baby is nowhere near. He is laying up here suffering. I don't know whose ideal this was or why. He had no idea. He had no idea about the C-section. He said, but this baby, I've never saw a hospital let a baby lay up here and suffer. He said, because he can't breathe. He's suffering. He said, if he had been in Jackson by now, the NICU, you'd already had him home by now. So, of course, I go cleaning the room, packing the stuff. Here comes the NICU transport unit. You know, I was so worked up, I drove myself to Jackson, me and Kevin to Jackson, and then we slept in the NICU, the ICU waiting room like 4 nights. And even Jackson was telling me, put your feet up, you don't look good. Put your feet up, rest. And it didn't make sense. It did not make sense. Baby, I got it all recorded. So you can call me a liar all you want to, but I have it recorded and I have witnesses. Why would I lie? Like, who would lie about losing an ovary and tube without knowing? Why would I? What does it benefit me? Please tell me. Okay, baby. If you've not learned anything, it's because I tell too much. Too much honesty. Have a great day, 000. We love seeing y'all over here.
Yeah, bye.
I don't know how that happened. How'd that happen? I didn't push a button. Well, he scared me to death. Huh. I blocked him. I was like, who is that? I ain't battled in a year and a half, a year. Well, I'm not sure I could do it, to be honest. It's been a minute. It's been a long minute. Oh, thank you. It just popped in. Maybe I invited him by accident. That could be possible. I could have invited him by accident. Gross. I know. I don't know how all that works. I don't. I really don't. I'm not lying to y'all. I don't know how it all works. I don't want to feel like I'm using y'all. Now, I'd love to battle. And I've been saying I'm going to battle for a while, but you know, I just don't. It's a lot of energy. A lot of energy. You know what's even funnier is I have all the videos from when I had Trustin and when I sent it to my grandma and I sent it to other people and Kevin in the background talking because he was just dumbfounded. And it's so funny to me that people want to take away from people's lives. It's just, the internet's hilarious. It really is. Completely hilarious. The know-it-alls now. Because they have a free app on their phone. There you are, Miss Lavina. Hey, baby. Let me go in there and when I get everything situated, we can do your, like we talked about. Oops. Let me lose his page. Don't let me lose his page. Oh, nope. Got it all cleaned up. And all his papers and stuff cleaned up. Now, it's back over here, these packets. Oh, thank you for the fast pop. I don't know what that means, but thank you. There's that. I'm going to turn the heat off. I think it's pretty hot outside, I think. Okay. Turn these back down. Of course. No, girl, we ain't doing nothing for Thanksgiving. We thought about cooking, but it's just so much to cook, and just me and Kevin. If we do cook, we'll take it to my grandma's and them leftovers, but it's just so much money to cook for me and him. We don't eat a lot. Like I said, heck, we've spent $80 on baked beans. $80 on the meal he's taking to work because he burnt the first batch by accident. Alright, let me take these out and stir them real quick. He burned them by accident. They're heavy. Yeah, I was telling y'all earlier, whoa, gosh, that if we get ham, turkey, I like turkey, mashed potatoes, and rolls. It's my favorite part of the whole meal. If we got mashed potatoes, turkeys, and roll, ham, sweet potato casserole, and a chicken and dressing, it'd be like $150 something, you know? And it's a lot of cooking. Heck, just cooking this is a lot. So We might not. My grandma and grandpa's cooking for themselves today, and they'll probably eat on that. You know, that's probably more than that, but they'll probably eat on that for a couple days. So I told them if we don't cook, I'm just gonna get them a fish plate because they hadn't had one in a while, and we'll get a fish plate and come give them a fish plate. Kevin, like I said, he burnt the baked beans. He made a big pot of baked beans and burned them this morning. So that's why I'm doing this. Is because if we don't bring something, he can't eat. And so yeah, he had a whole big pan of baked beans and he forgot them and left them in the oven and they burnt. Even though he worked on them till 11 o'clock last night. Then put them in the oven and then forgot them. And they burnt. So I have to... We don't talk about... Honey, Kevin's family was the only family we had gatherings at. They're the only reason my kids have gatherings. Kevin's family is the only family that does or stands up for my kids or for anything. Even with the... Right now, they're with Kevin's family together. But when Kevin's mom and dad died last year, we haven't had a gathering since. So, we went from having gatherings, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, sometimes 4th of July, to nothing. So, hence why we're trying to buy a big enough house, because Kevin's brothers don't have kids, my siblings don't have kids, our children will never have cousins more than likely, they will only have nieces and nephews, so we need a big enough house to have gatherings. We have 9 children. If each of our children get married, that's 18 children plus spouses. If each of our children have 1 to 3 children, that is 9 to 27 grandchildren. And then we have a grandchild who is 13 years away from being 20. So in the next 13 years, we could have great grandbabies. Plus Kevin's brothers, his brother's wife, his stepfather. And some of those people may not come, but you got to believe that some of your children are going to be around regularly. So we need a 4 or 5, preferably a 5 or 6 bedroom is what we're looking for, and that's kind of quite hard to find. We're looking for land. Oh, thank you. He put down green beans, and he meant to put down baked beans, and so he wasn't going to make green beans, but I said, I made green beans that way in case nobody else brings green beans. There's green beans. And then one of his co-workers, their week was tight, and they couldn't afford to bring something, so he volunteered to bring rolls for him so he wouldn't be excluded. So I've got to heat the rolls up here soon. Alright. Since they have cooked for a minute, I'm going to taste my seasoning. Clean spoon. Delicious. I agree, girl. Listen, I was talking about it earlier. If you weren't here, sorry. But here's the truth about it. Kevin's company, the corporate company, is not supplying this. It's his GM. Kevin, he made history last year on the poundage that he ran. He ran 15 million pounds last year. 15 million pounds last year, which was the history record for all the plants combined. 15 million profit, sorry. This year, he's ran more than that by October. He's beat that record by October. Him and his crew are the only crew that run his line. There's no night shift. He's the only one who runs it. Before him, they were running 6 to 10 a day. Now he runs 16 to 20 a day. So he They're going to be on the magazine cover for making history. And in his opinion, if they profited $15 million last year just from his line, and he's already beat that record this year by October, you should be supplying Thanksgiving. But the boss says it like this. He says since he's the one, you know, that he's supplying the turkeys and the ham, then the girls in the office, they, you know, bring dishes. And he says that if every person stops bringing something, and there's 50 people per shift, and there's 30 people who don't bring something, and then 20 that does, how is it fair for all them people to bring food to have dinner, and then the other people eat and they didn't bring anything? Which Kevin thinks it's, I told him, I said, get up and just clean that out. And then they said last year, Kevin said they went home for the hour and came back and clocked out because they didn't want to eat. And he said this year they can't do that. They have to clean if they're not eating. So, girl, same thing. Kevin, I was saying earlier that Kevin, what was I saying? Oh, Kevin and his boss made an agreement that when Kevin got a ton of poundage ran, he would supply dinner. And he said, you know, I kind of just threw out there, you know, a pizza party or something if we get a ton, which is a lot of weight for what he does. He has a very dangerous job. And he says somehow me saying him to supply dinner is now a pizza party every time. He said that's the cheapest route you can go. You got six guys on a crew, you know, 3 pizzas will feed us. That's the cheapest route you can go. He said if I'm getting him a ton, you know, a ton at a time, he should be getting us a good dinner, or my crew a good dinner. So, but here I am. I'm making stuff. You know, the rolls are his crew, his co-workers. And he's been taking people home from work if, you know, we don't have any plans, it's not out of the way. Kevin's a lot different than people think he is. He just didn't show it very well then. And he's done a lot of growth since then. We both have changed a lot since all this happened. But like I said, he's in leadership. He's already been in leadership before multiple times. He's always been a boss everywhere he's worked. But he was 100 people were chosen out of 16,000 employees, and he was one of them. His name is circulating through corporate in a good way. Out of 100 people at his plant, he was one of 3 chosen for the leadership. So he's got to go back to Huntsville this next week for his second training day. Nope. I'm hoping he won't be on that line very long. Hopefully. I told him, they said, why would we want one of you? Why would we want one of you when we could have 10 of you or 20 of you, you know, training the guys? So, Kevin's the fastest machine operator on his machine that they've ever had. That's why I don't think he'll ever get to leave it. I think he'll be on that machine until he retires. But we're hoping that this means that he'll get promoted to something better. Because he's 52 years old, you know. They claim the last person that's name circulated around corporate, he's now a regional manager or a regional safety person or something. So, hoping that it all pays off. It's 27 weeks almost. I'm gonna change my shirt, it's dirty. I've got 60 days, like 67 days, 66 days until it could be go time. Always, girl. sometimes I feel it took away from home because he, you know, so stressed out about work and all that, that then he let family get to him, and we just made a lot of mistakes back when I was going live with the kids and all that, and we know better now. So, we won't be making that mistake again. At all. At all, at all. Girl, that's crazy. Oh no. Like, they don't appreciate employees anymore. It's sad. Thank you. He's changed a lot too. I want him to. No, I don't have my kids back yet. We're buying a house, okay? We are in the process of buying a house. We're in the process of saving to buy a house. That's the only thing we lack, is to buy a house. His credit is 735, 730. My credit is 645. We have been saving actively for a house. We have been looking. We have been looking at mobile homes, land, etc. No judge is going to return our kids before the time school ends anyways. So, I wanted to be out of here before the baby's born, but that's probably not going to happen. As long as we're out of here by April or May, I'll be happy. The baby was not planned. It was totally a surprise, totally an accident. My methods failed. This is not what I want, but, you know, I'm happy about it, and we're doing things to protect ourselves more than we did last time. So, I know better now than a lot of stuff. I can't wait. See, I'd like to have it in court by May, so that by the time that the kids are out of school, they can start visiting home on the weekends and stuff, and then come back permanently, because no judge is just going to throw them permanently, you know. So, and I know now the credit score don't matter or something like that. Credit score don't matter or something. Like that six whatever, you know. Okay, baby, I'll check it. Give me just a second. People crack me up because they do not know a female's body at all. They clearly don't. It's laughable to me. It's laughable to me that the woman that's had 9 pregnancies, you think would just... I clearly just said Trustin's not Kevin's biologically. Why would I sit here and say that this baby's Kevin's when it's Kevin's? Sorry to hurt your feelings, but it is. Like I said, God's got jokes. I don't know if it was because Kevin wasn't sexually active in almost 5 weeks. I don't know if it's because God's like, haha, this is me reaffirming your relationship. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely Kevin's. Sorry that you don't know how ovulation works. Exactly. Like, I've explained this over and over and over and over and over again. I'm not going to explain it again, and I don't have to. I said I was going to make a video about it, but I haven't yet. Okay? Literally, I save everything. I save every doctor's appointment. It's recorded. I save everything. When I had my D&C last year, when I had my molar pregnancy, I have all of it saved. I could totally prove that I'm not lying, but I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I was definitely there, girl. Definitely there. You know? It ain't going away. I can't suck it in. I can't suck it in. You know? So, I can't suck it in. Which I don't want to. I'm not trying to suck it in, you know? So I can't hide it no more. Kevin's like, why are you trying to hide it? I'm like, I'm not. That's not what I mean by that. He's like, okay. I'm just saying, you don't have to. I was like, I know I don't have to. You know, I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to enjoy my pregnancy, though, so. Okay, have a great, beautiful day, lovely. Bye, 00. Sorry you guys think that I'm so stupid that I'll just respond to anything, but When I've been here 5 years and what I've been through, it don't work on me. Sorry. Thank you for the heart, me. Doesn't work on me. My. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm trying. Alrighty, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Alright, guys, I'm gonna get off and let this cook for a little bit. When my phone charges, I'll be back. Oh, thank you. It kind of sucks sometimes, though, because it's either really bright in here or dark. Like, there's no in between. You're either bright daylight or it's dark with no light. So, but this phone isn't charged good when it's plugged in, so I'll have to charge it while I'm off. But I may come back on about 12 or maybe 11:45, let it charge for a minute, and then come back on when I get the food closer to done and let y'all package it with me. And then I'll come back on later today and do my sales. If you are, oh, I'm sorry. If you are not following my main page, go follow my main page. It has a lot more details on it. LILSTAR92. And I'll either be on this page or the other backup page for my live. So, I'll be back. I'm going to watch my drama page. I'm going to go watch, never mind. I ain't going to say the 3 people that I watch, because 2 of them I kind of enjoy sometimes, but the other one's just a drama fest that you can't help but be drawn into it. Like, it's insanity. But anywho, the 2 people I actually enjoy watching, but you know, most of the time. But the other person is like, you know, God, like, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? Yeah, that's the person I'm talking about. That's the drama twins, yeah, her. But Adelia and NP Creations, they get a lot of hate, and I see a lot of their hate pages. Most of the time I see their lives, but I don't see all that they post. So it's either Gabby, NP, or Adelia, or who else? Like, that's been the main ones lately. But Gabby's every day I have to look up, what did she say today? Because I never catch her live, so. Girl, don't go down that loop, I promise. You ain't heard the drama twins? You ain't heard of the Slam Clam? Clam Slam? Clam Slam, not Slam Clam. Clam Slam. Don't go down that rabbit hole, I promise. Has she been on live today? Oh, I don't even know who that is, girl. Who's Sadie? Don't, girl, don't. I promise. Adelia pops in here most of the time. Adelia is I mean, I thought they called Gabby that because what she does. Is that where it started from? See, I don't know. I haven't watched it for a long time. I'm trying to catch up, and every day it's an new episode, or soap opera. So, either between her or her sister. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't really know. Honestly, I'm as clueless as y'all are. But some of the things that she says, especially her sisters, my palates are high. Your palates? Baby, if you're going to come online and speak about your medical stuff, shouldn't you know what word to use? Platelets? Then the other day, not knowing how to pronunciate another word, I just died laughing. I'm like, no wonder they sit here and record you and everybody talks about you. My word! The most simplest words have a different pronunciation or an ED added to it, or what? Like, you can't help but just sit and be like, oh my gosh. Like I told you, did I act like this when I cooked for my kids? Like, I mean, yeah, they whined and cried, and maybe I didn't rush to them immediately, but did I sit on live and just all day? Gosh. Like, then you got her sister doing it too, and it's like, what? You know? So sorry, Ashley. Pronunciate. So sorry. But the things they say, like, if you're gonna come along and talk about your blood platelets, why would you say pallets? That is nowhere near the same word, nor the same meaning at all. Pallets and platelets are two different things. But it's not just that. I can't remember, honestly, all the things that said. But, and so many people that stream her. Like, there's probably 20 people that stream her. Like, do we need all y'all's opinions? Do we need all y'all's opinions? You know, oh, goodness gracious. Slop. I fed my children slop. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm glad you think that home cooked meals are slop. I guess that's the reason the kids say they miss our cooking, huh? So sorry that you think that good food is slop. Girl, I don't know about all that either, you know? Exactly, I made them each what they wanted versus just one meal and say eat it or don't eat it all. Like, they had their own food. I mean, but whatever. Whatever. I'm not going to argue with people who sit behind a keyboard and want to be right. Keyboard and want to be right. That's all it's about. They want attention and they want to be right. On a free app. Doesn't make sense, but that's my opinion. Alrighty. I'm gonna go and then 3 hours. Really? I haven't had slop in a long time. I don't think I've had slop before. I think Grandma Billy made it. It's kind of like goulash, but not. Like a different way of goulash. Girl, like I said, Miss Michelle, it's easy to hide behind an account and hide. And how does a bully do it without repercussions? By not showing their face. And a lot of people on this app don't show their face. And I think they should be validated for their opinions, you know? But do you see me voicing my opinion? I'm on a free app using what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be on here trying to utilize it, not hurt people. Girl, they are. They are. And there's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness. There really is. There is really a lot of undiagnosed mental illness. Truly. Oh, they can't, lovely, because they want attention and a reaction. That's all it comes down to. So, you know, because their lives are not happy. They're miserable. They're bored. They're not loved. They don't have company. Something. They actually reflect themselves onto other people and don't realize it. Because happy people don't do that. They move on. If they don't like you, they move on. They don't give the most important thing in their life, which is peace, away freely. They don't just let people interrupt their peace for nothing. So the miserable people don't have peace in their life. And like you said, misery loves company, and that's the truth. And I just had no idea until I got online and saw how nasty people really are behind the screen, behind your back, etc. I just sit sometimes, I don't even know what's happening half the time. Half the time I don't even know what's happening. I'm just like, okay. I don't even comment either. I'm just like, I've tried talking to Stephanie. I've tried talking to Gabby. They don't listen, so now I just observe. And then pray for them. Like, goodness gracious, please. Oh, Miss Patty, but it was slop. It was slop. I had 5,000 people watching me cook, but it was slop. You know? So, why the color name on your nail polish? What? Why what? Don't know what you mean, baby. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to ask her. I'll have to text my lady and ask her. She had this blue on her hand back a couple months ago, and I thought it was pretty. And I never do colors. I usually do pink or purples. And I wasn't sure I'd like just the blue, so I had her do purple, and it's got chrome on top of it. But when I go, I'll text her and I'll ask her. So, well, thank you. Kevin really likes the French tip manicure look. So this isn't his favorite, but he says they're beautiful like I am, and so, yeah. I was going to get Christmas colors next time, but I made my appointment too close to Christmas, and I don't want to have Christmas nails into January, so I'm just going to get them either French or a different color. But I will ask her, because it is a beautiful blue. And the purple's pretty too. It was more of a lighter purple until the chrome went on it, and then it made it more like a plum purple. But thank you. Alrighty guys, the charger's not getting... Yeah, with builder gel underneath it. I used to get dip, but the dip was chipping, and I chipped it yesterday trying to get an ornament clean. They normally don't chip. My last set lasted me 4.5 weeks, but it's builder gel with just gel on top. I was doing dip, but like I said, these have seemed to work better for me. My nails have been growing out. They can't say I have dirty nails anymore. What's under your nails? Making bows? You know, it could have been resin. It could have been dye, and they still say that I'm. So I've started getting my nails done for that reason. I'm only getting off because my phone won't charge without it, and I can't set y'all up with the charger in it. I don't have my things broke. You know this right here, the little part right here. It broke, and it won't hold my phone up. So I have to set it up, and it won't do it with the charger. So I'll try to come back on about 11:45, either on this page or my other page, and I'll let my phone charge. But I'll be back. I'll be back to put the beans in the pan, take the baked beans out, and make the rolls.
Lusting after this dude from elementary school?
I told one friend, she's also a friend from elementary school, and I told her that I still thought about him all the time. And it turns out that she actually got his number. She's married, but she wanted to keep in touch with him because it was so good to run into him, so she jotted down his number. So now I have his number, but I don't know what to say.
What do you think is going to happen when you call him? I mean, do you think that you're going to honestly rekindle a relationship here?
I just want to, say hi and maybe, we should catch up, and then work on it from there. But I get so nervous every time I pick up the phone. I just clam up and hang up.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you've tried to call it without our help.
Not really.
Okay.
What if it turns out that Andrew's gay?
I didn't think about that.
You still would probably think that you could turn him, right?
Right, there we go.
All right.
He's not gay.
Well,
all right.
And you've tried to find him on Facebook and maybe message, because that's like a normal way to do it, I feel like now. Like just calling him out of the blue when he doesn't know you have his phone numbers, it's going to be a little shocking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, I tried to find him on Facebook.
Yeah, it sounds like you tried to find him everywhere. All right, well, we'll play a song, come back, give you our advice, and then have you make your Awkward Tuesday phone call, okay?
Okay, I'm really nervous.
It's awkward.
It's Tuesday.
It's Brooke and Jubal's Awkward Tuesday phone call.
Ashley wants us to call a guy named Andrew, who she's had a crush on ever since elementary school. She can't think about anybody else still to this day. How old are you again, Ashley?
27.
27 years old. Still can't get this guy out of her head.
Honestly, I'm really sorry, you guys. I really am getting nervous, and I just don't think I can do it.
You don't think you can make the phone call?
Come on.
You know how it works. If you want our advice, you have to make a phone call for us. Do you want our advice still?
I want your advice so bad, but you should feel my heart. It's like beating out of my chest. I'm so sorry to waste your time, you guys.
We've got to make the phone call, Ashley.
Come on.
It's how the segment works.
I really don't think that I can do it.
My advice to you, Ashley, is just try not to make yourself sound crazy. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because it's a long time to sort of, and it sounds like you have kind of obsessed about this guy since elementary school. It's a long time to have somebody on your mind. Just maybe don't play it up so much as to how you were into being married on the playground and all that stuff. Like, just lose some of those details so it sounds like you don't care that much. You just thought he was super hot.
So you are giving me advice.
Yeah, so now that means you have to make the phone call. That's how it works.
I can do it.
What are you most nervous about, Ashley? What is the one thing that's really just...
I'm going to sound cuckoo.
Well, that's already happened. So we've moved past that because it's already done.
Oh, gosh, I can't do it.
Ashley, what if I make the phone call for you then?
You would do it for me?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, make me sound cool.
Actually, well, see, Ashley, it might even come off less creepy if you do it this way. That way it's more like hey, it's a crazy radio segment where we reconnect old people. Or where we reconnect old people. Or
I would like that.
came out weird. Yeah, we're connecting people at a retirement home where we reconnect old friends. You see what I mean, though? It makes you sound less crazy that way.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.